It is no secret that I'm a huge adventuring enthusiast. It doesn't matter if it's snowing, if there's mud outside, if there's negative 20 degrees Celsius, I will always make sure to get some sunlight when the sun is up. Even if it's behind the clouds, I still make sure to get some vitamin C because first of all, I need it for my health in general and because it just makes me feel nice. And whenever I am outside and I'm looking at all of the beautiful nature, I just get so many new thoughts, so many new ways of thinking that it just always attracts me in the first place. And this adventuring aspect isn't just applied to me, but of course, in men in general. We are creatures of the outside world after all. We are not meant to spend the rest of our lives stuck inside of our caves, just looking at the fire and enjoying it. No, no, no. We are meant to hunt. We are meant to explore. We are meant to conquer, to dominate, to find new areas, to find new resources. That is what a human is supposed to do. It is not meant to be stuck home all day. And oh boy, during this summer, when it was still warm outside, it was like 30 degrees Celsius where I live. It was all sunny, so there was no mud. It barely even rained. That was the perfect and optimal time for me to go and adventure with my bicycle, of course. I was making all of these different trajectories that I was going on with my bicycle on a weekly basis. That sometimes I was even making 40 kilometers in just like, the total range that I went over with the bicycle. And I finished that in like 3 hours, I believe. So yeah, that's pretty impressive if I say so. And during each and every single one of these tracks, I always went through this forbidden area that no one really cares about, but it is really significant for the story that I'm about to tell. You see, I have these couple of buddies with whom I'm really close with, and with whom I really like to go to the gym with, and we always have a blast when we are together. And this time, it was no different. We were at the gym, we were, hitting all of the different machines, I was hitting all of my different exercises, and afterwards, we went on the bus, and everything was absolutely perfect. We were laughing at all the different kinds of jokes, and then one of them asked me, "Hey, TR, so are we gonna go out on this weekend? Because we always go to the gym at Fridays, so yeah, he didn't want to be stuck home all day, so he just wanted to, hang out with us even more. So we decided that yeah, we're gonna go to this local village of ours that is like 13 kilometers away from our houses, and we're gonna have some nice drinks in there. Even if we are hungry, then we're gonna probably order some kind of a meal since they cook pretty well there, since I've been there already with my cousin. And so we just said, yeah, we booked it and we went after it. So it was Saturday on the next day, I believe. And so we prepared for it. On that same day, we also helped one of my uncles with something. And after that, we were kind of hungry, but not really. And so we gathered around and we went after it. And as we drove through our village, and as we went into the local forest of ours to get to our desired destination, we had to pass through this like local airport that is located in our local area, eh, in like our village. It is not like an official airport, like you can go from it to any kind of a country. It's a private airport, but it is still really significant because there are a lot of private owners in there. And basically, whenever I go and adventure with my bicycle, and whenever I ride with it through this airport, I, yeah. So I drive through this like forbidden access area. So like the road that leads there, it leads between these two buildings, right? And between them, there's this like huge stopping block that stops you from going forward. And it has this like huge circle that is literally like hardwired into it. And it says, access denied or access forbidden. And so you cannot pass there. But I remember that when I was going through there with my dad, he went through it with no problem. And he basically didn't even care whatsoever. And it was the truth. During that summer holidays, I went through that forbidden area at least 10 times, and no one ever said anything. So it was hardwired into my head that, oh yeah, why don't we just go through there? It is the fastest option. Like, yeah, sure, there are other options that could take us, and yeah, they would be safer. But I just thought that that forbidden access was just for cars. And so we went through there, and immediately, the friend that asked if we are gonna go out on the weekend, he immediately started yelling at me, "TR, are you fucking retarded?" Now, yeah, granted, he it was okay for him to yell that, but of course, we speed ran through the access denied, and we immediately got to like the other side of the road, and oh boy, They immediately they immediately started criticizing my leadership the second that they went through it. Not everyone was yelling it, of course. He was the only one, but he yelled it like 10 times in a row and with an angry accent. And I was like, oh boy, he's about to tear my reputation apart as leader. But that was okay, because the way that we as men grow is that we get our souls shattered. We get our reputation absolutely annihilated. But then we resynthesize it together and we become stronger. Just how you build up your physical body by absolutely annihilating your muscles in the gym. They, of course, resynthesize together and they become something greater, something more powerful. So I needed some kind of election like this. And so, of course, as we were driving away from that local airport, I explained it to him that, I even asked him that, what was so wrong, like, I explained it to him that whenever I was going through there, that it was completely fine. So it was just access denied for cars. So you don't have to get angry all of this time about it. And so he said something like, "Oh yeah, but your family is rich. You can afford it if they catch you." Of course, he he didn't mean it in a serious way. He said it as a joke, but yeah, he understood it. And so from that point onwards, we didn't take the path through the access denied, and instead we took the harder path and we went like an extra kilometer along the airport so that we didn't go through there anymore. And later that day, as we got back from that long ass bike ride, which was really good, and we really enjoyed it, and we got a lot of laughs from it. It was just that, yeah, that one event, eh, that was the most unpleasant memory, but like everything except for that was completely perfect. We had one of the best times of our entire lives, and we laughed a lot, even to the point where my liver was about to collapse because of how much I was laughing. But later on that day, I sat down on my bed and I took out my journal, the one that I used to script my videos for every single day, the one that I used to prepare for our plans for the future, not just for our clan, but for my life in general. In what kind of directions do I want to take myself into? What kind of books do I want to read? What kind of woman do I want to date? Every single question is answered for me over there, and I use it every single night. And so I reflected on my mistakes, and I and I acknowledged their confusion that they may not trust me as that much because keep in mind, I've already ridden through that forbidden access like 12 times in my life. So, of course I was used to it, but that was the first time that they were going through it. So, I understand that they were confused, but for the time being, we can take that extra kilometer. It was completely fine. I acknowledge my mistakes as a leader, and I will do better from now on. I will think everything more thoroughly, and I will think about more details in the future. Lesson learned. Life goes on. I forgave myself for making that mistake, and I'm sure that they did already too, because it's been like 2 months since that happened, and I made myself feel a lot better. The way that journaling mm, helps you reflect on yourself is that it makes you sit down every single night before your bed, and it makes you clean up all of your different thoughts that you get during the entire day. All of the most important life lessons that you've learned on that day, you put it in there and you store it as a memory. And so you can view that not that not just by one sense, by just imagining it or hearing it. You get to acknowledge that mistake with like three senses at once. So you can see it because you wrote it down, of course. You can touch it because, of course, you can touch the ink that you used to write the mistake with. And you can also hear it because you, of course, say it out loud. And you can also read it and you understand. Basically, like you amplify the power that you remember that mistake threefold. And of course, afterwards, your reflection muscle becomes so strong if you do this each and every single day, even if it's something small as of a mistake, as for example farting in class or forgetting your rubber, for example. But not like for sex. I mean like this rubber gum for school, of course. Even if it's something small as that, it makes a huge difference in the future, and it quickly stacks up until you become such a powerful master at reflection that that you literally start confusing other people's mistakes for your own. And another benefit of journaling is that it can make you and it can become like an indirect accountability partner, meaning that you can just think to yourself what the other person, the direct accountability partner, would think of you whenever you would make that mistake once again. You can like visualize it and write down the entire details of the visualization of, for example, you fucking up once again and that friend of yours yelling at you once again. You can literally visualize yourself and write it down in full details of how that memory and that occasion would go, how that interaction would commence. You get to also, in a way, plan for that interaction so you can prepare for it in the future. By, of course, preparing the arguments to self defend yourself and preparing for that mistake itself. You can reflect back on it. You can reflect on all of the smallest details in the area that led you towards making that mistake. Like, for example, I was already way too comfortable with myself when it came to that area. Because through the summer, I rode through there like 10 times. So I was way too confident with myself, and I didn't even consider the fact that they would call me out. So that was a mistake on my part. I have reflected on it. I have forgave myself for making that mistake. I have grown stronger. I have learned my lesson, and life goes forward. And that's the power that journaling brings you with solving mistakes and through reflecting on them and becoming the best version of yourself that you can possibly become in this life. If you want to join a community where we discuss our mental health and full of like-minded men who share the same values as you, the same likes and dislikes, the same goals as you, who are becoming the best version of themselves every single day to surpass you in the race of men, but at the same time, they will be like your true blood-bonded brothers with whom you can talk about any kind of topic and any kind of awkward life story, and they will give you life advice on it like there's no tomorrow, then you can join our Discord clan in the description. I know that if you're watching videos like these and willing to take action, that you have way more potential than you think you have. So please, harness it and join us on the path towards greatness and leave the 99% of people behind that don't benefit you whatsoever. I know that you'll find your place in there. But besides that, you can like the video, you can subscribe if you want, join the email list in the description, and get yourself a free ebook about mindfulness. Comment on which part of the video you liked the most, and which part of the video you will implement into your daily life. Don't forget to join the clan, you're still invited, and become a part of the family. If you want to learn about healthy mindsets that will guarantee you success in the long term and in the short term by mending your mental health and bringing you on the right path, no matter what, no matter the life test, no matter the goal, then I highly suggest that you should go check out Timeless Reader's Mindsets in the description. It is truly something life changing, and you would be an absolute fool to miss out, especially with the discount that is happening over there right now. And with that being said, thank you very much for watching this video, and remember, No one is better at being you.